Well, good evening and welcome inside the Cerow Rec Park here in Clayton, New York, home of the Thousand Island Raiders, and welcome to the Thousand Island Raiders YouTube channel. My name's Connor Lalone, play-by-play announcer for the Raiders. Cody Wheeler on the camera for us as we're underway. The Raiders hosting the Ridgetown Royals, as I'm sure you heard. A series that's gone kind of all over the place this year between these two teams. Saw, quite a while ago now, a month and a half or so, the Raiders with a win, a split of the series, weekend series between these two teams. And then just a couple of weeks later, lost 20-5 up in Canada. So really no telling which way this one's going to go. We're underway here in the first period. And it's first test of Robert Fountain, a shot from the right wing off the stick of Derek Shaw. Now controlled in behind by the Raiders, but taken away by Brendan Ritchie. His pass will work all the way around behind the net for Nolan Vandeborn, and then back to Derek Shaw. Shaw, as Ritchie trying to work that puck free. Colton Oaks Cook trying to clear the zone, and eventually will, maybe, as he gets the puck across to Gavin Cook-Avery, and now they will escape the zone. Oaks Cook up the left side, throws one back across the ice. Here's Cook-Avery down the right wing. Has it sticked away. His centering pass was broken up. Kind of dangerous there from Brendan Ritchie, handling the puck in front of his own netminder Nolan Hacker, but no harm, no foul as he dumps the puck in down the left wing. Vandeborn picks it up on the far wall. His backhand into the corner, and now trying to work out from there is Ben Cunningham for the Royals. Cunningham had it poked free, but it came out for Vandeborn. Now out to the near side, shot from the point, and handled easily by Fountain through some traffic, but he saw it well. Off the stick of Sean Noah. A couple of early saves for Bobby Fountain. Good start, though, for the visiting Ridgetown Royals. They were a little late getting here, I guess, which kind of delayed the start just a little bit here. About 10 minutes or so, I guess, inside the barn in Clayton. As Dan Harville sends one across the near side, was trying to find Trudeau, but a little long for him to handle. Now this one broken up at center ice and dumped in deep by Anthony Bentley for the Raiders. Now in behind his own net, Ian Campbell. Campbell up the near side, throws one up, and Vandeborn able to tip it out of the zone. Horner just throws it right back in. And in behind his own net, Campbell backhands one up along the near wall. Trudeau giving chase there, but Nolan Vandeborn able to break out of the zone. He throws one way across the ice for Brendan Ritchie. Now Ritchie skating in, and that one steered aside at the last second. Fountain, I think, got a piece of it with his poke check and then sent down the length of the ice. No icing. Hacker out of the net to plate. Sends it along the near side. Vinny Vanderassa threw that one dangerously back out in front, but nobody there in a black Thousand Island Raiders sweater able to pick up that loose puck. Now this one just dumped in deep. It actually hit the netting in behind. And so that should bring the faceoff back into the neutral zone as it was let go in that area by, I think it was Ian Campbell. Campbell well into the neutral zone, so no penalty obviously, but faceoff will work into neutral ice off that long dump in attempt that just had a little too much height and snuck up into the netting behind. Faceoff controlled back by the Raiders. McClellan. Now up along the far wall, Oaks Cook tips it in to negate the icing. Ridgetown kind of stopped playing there. There was no icing as, like we said, tipped in by Oaks Cook. McClellan in on the forecheck giving chase, but this one worked out back into the offensive end as Clark's going to pick it up on the right side. It's Spencer Clark. Still tight rope in the blue line. He sends it back across to this near side. Clark broken up as he tried to center it. And now with a chance maybe is Colton Oaks Cook. Sticked away at the last second by Sean Noah, but Oaks Cook ends up with it on the left wall. He tried to center from McClellan. That was broken up by Noah. Still unable to clear the zone, though, are the Royals as that one's dumped in deep along the far boards. Oaks Cook gives chase. This one kept in, pinched here on the near side by Gavin Cook-Avery, and then dumped in deep by Landon Much. Centering pass for Rice and a good stick. Able to break it up at the last second. Nevin Gunther in there. This one dumped in deep. Fountain plays it out behind the net. Landon Much looking up ahead. Long stretch pass tipped in right at the red line by Justin Wiley. So no icing again. Up here along the near boards. Big hit laid by Wiley. Loves to throw the body around. And center ice picked up right at the dot. Vanderborn now up the right wing. Wilson, and another big hit laid by Wiley in behind. This one up along the far boards. Snyder looking to clear the zone. And Rice will poke it out, plays it down with a glove. That's a hand pass. But the Royals, the first ones to play it, is Xander Wright in deep. This one turned over in the offensive zone. Rice right in front lets one go. Harville at the side of the net, and he scores. Well, it was a dump in behind that the Royals did not deal with very well. And the first shot missed wide, but hard off the back boards. And Dan Harville there on the near side, right at the doorstep, able to pick up the loose puck and fire it home to give Thousand Islands an early 1-0 lead. Not quite 5 minutes gone in the first period. Face-off one back by Ezekiel Endy, held in at the blue line and then given away. Royals got to get back on side, and they do. Now up through center ice with some speed. And throwing one on was Cameron Whipple. Another shot, and that one's blockered away by Hacker. Thousand Islands able to turn it over. Trudeau ends up with a puck after the miss from Harville. Had to glove it down and couldn't get a shot away. Held in, though, by Whipple. He throws one on. Trudeau with a redirect, and that one still stayed wide of the net somehow. Hacker untested from the point. Held in, though, by Harville. Trudeau trying to find Endy on the near side. Ezekiel Endy had it taken away from him, and now the Royals able to clear the zone. They come the other direction with numbers. Derek Shaw up the right wing. Dumps it in for himself. St. Anne Spinner will control in behind the net for the Raiders, but he gave it right away. Whipple in there too as it comes along to the far boards. Looking up ahead, Trudeau through center ice. Never really spotted the puck. That one's cleared out hard off the far boards, and immediately the Royals back the other way. Shaw sends one up high across the top of the net. Never tested Fountain. And Trudeau able to just touch it back out of the zone. Royals got to get back on side as that one went on net, and Fountain played it. Whipple now in behind his own net. Going to slow it down a little bit and try to maybe just conserve some energy. Yeah, get some players off the ice as Trudeau comes across for a change. Now Whipple out from behind his net, but he throws it along the back boards where it's reeled in on the far side in the far corner by Gabe Horner. Horner now looking up, trying to skate out of the defensive zone. Nearly turned it over. This one taken away in the neutral zone as I think that was Endy that went down. Shot from the left side off the stick of Justin Anzalone. This centering pass broken up and cleared out of the zone. Hard off the boards for Nolan Vanderborn, and he's going to beat the icing down there. Vanderborn picks it up in the corner. Good drop pass to Cunningham. Ben Cunningham. Vanderborn in front, and Fountain slides across to make the save. Vanderborn didn't really get much on it, and Fountain able to get just enough to keep it from going into the net. This puck held in here at the near side by Sean Noah. His shot hit a skate in the lane and never made it on net. Still held in by the Royals, though. Centering pass. Noah again able to knock this one down at the blue line. He sends one on the tip and missed wide. Vanderborn throws it on goal, and it's in. Terrific work on the forecheck for and it snuck through the 5-hole of Robert Fountain. It's now 1-1 here in the first period. Much throws it out to the far side, comes back into the defensive zone for Whipple. His pass through center ice, broken up and dumped right back in by Ian Campbell. Back to center. Now here's Blaine McClellan. He's going to throw one on. That's blockered aside by Hacker. Numbers in deep for the Raiders as Royals just dump it in deep. Backhanded in behind the net by Malcolm Campbell. Kept in the zone down in the far corner. Able to come up with the puck. Lost you there for a second, guys. Apologize. Skating out of the defensive zone was St. Anne Spinner. Dumped in deep. Now big hit laid in behind. As fighting for the loose puck were a couple of guys. That was Wiley again, if you can believe it. Laying the body check. Skating out through center, Spencer Clark had it taken off of his stick by Rice. And now the Raiders trying to get into the offensive zone. Rice couldn't. Snyder tried to dump it in and broken up well by Ridgetown right at the blue line. Long stretch pass to the far side. Skating down the left wing, Wiley throws one out, caught Hacker right up in the mask. And he knocked it down and steered it into the corner. Thankfully for the Royals and for him, that one didn't seem to sting him too bad. It wasn't the quickest of shots, the hardest of shots, but still caught him up high. A shot from the slot. And that one again able to beat Fountain, and it's quickly 2-0. Ridgetown with the lead. By Beanackers, who threw one on net. And Dave Beanackers able to beat Fountain. Second time here in the early going. It's 2-1 now. Ridgetown with the lead. Somebody tell the guy running the computer. Had it backwards. 2-1. This one thrown off the glass and came back into the neutral zone as Harville played it down. Hacker out behind his net to play the puck. Harassed by Endy. Now Harville up along the near boards, trying to pinch the puck in the offensive zone, but it's cleared out right through center, out to the far side for Jeremy Vanderborn. Trudeau couldn't escape the zone, held in. Now Trudeau ends up with it on his stick, skating, trying to get into the neutral zone, and will escape the defensive zone for the Raiders. Now up the left wing with some speed. Ezekiel Endy down the left side. Endy trying to swing all the way around, does. Back out to the point for Whipple. Whipple's shot, that one's deflected in front by Trudeau, who ends up with it on his stick. Pass for Endy was in his skates, and it works all the way out and down in onto Nolan Hacker, who covers up and stops play here with 12:19. There's actually more than that to go, less than that to go. In the first period. Get that fixed in a second as we're back to hockey. Skating in the offensive zone. Steve Beanackers throws it back across. Shot from there. That was sticked aside. Fountain got a piece of it on the blast from Brody Fraley. And then up into the netting behind. Face off right into the skates of McClellan, and then controlled in behind by Anthony Bentley. Bentley through center. Tough pass, but he threads the needle to find Gavin Cook-Avery. Now Cook-Avery up the right side. Throws one on net, sticked aside by Hacker. Didn't know much about it, but he made the save. Cook-Avery lost the puck, and now it's dumped in deep. Horner trying to defend Steve Beanackers. Beanackers in the left side, centering pass right in the slot. That one missed across the far side. Another really good look for Brody Fraley. Puck given away again in the defensive zone. Long shot in on Fountain, who makes the save pretty easily this time. Not a lot of traffic in front of him, and able to throw the glove on and get the stop. .9:35 to go in the first period. Ridgetown with a 2-1 lead over the Thousand Island Raiders here from the Cerow Rec Park as the Raiders win this face-off back. It's controlled now in the corner and looking up ahead. Given away, though. Vanderborn able to pinch in and keep it in at the blue line. Throws one on net. Oh, glove down. Fountain had to make the save. Puck still loose out in front. Big block right in the slot. And now still unable to escape the zone are the Raiders as Snyder. That one rode right up along the top of the glass, or top of the boards, rather. And now Thousand Islands will escape the zone, if only momentarily. Chipped ahead, though, by Rice. Robert Rice. Centering pass was broken up. Hit a skate as Snyder was wide open at the back door. And looked like he was going to have a pretty easy tap in. Well defended by Ridgetown. Back across their centering pass. Still loose. That one came off the pipe. Maybe Fountain got a stick. Either way, it stayed out of the net. And now a chance maybe for the Raiders to go the other way. One-on-one here for Nick Snyder, who gets a shot away. It was blocked. Ends up with a puck right back on his stick. Snyder now up along the near boards as the Raiders got a change in. Able to keep this puck in the neutral zone, or hoping to, is St. Anne Spinner. He has to retreat in behind his own net, and now we've got a whistle. And with the Raiders possessing the puck, this is going to be a penalty on them, you'd figure. Roughing was the signal down there. You saw the call. And it is a roughing call. Didn't see who was headed over to the box. It sounded like 55 was the announcement, which would be Justin Wiley. Doesn't really matter who it is. It's a 2-minute minor for roughing against the Raiders, and they'll go shorthanded. Something they've done a lot this year is go shorthanded, and times they've looked good on the penalty kill. But if you continue to give teams opportunities over and over, they will take advantage at some point. This one cleared all the way along the far side. Early clear on the penalty to Wiley. ND in on the forecheck, so to Trudeau, one of the better face-off guys for the Raiders. Skating out of his defensive zone was Campbell. He's going to spin back around and circle around. And now Campbell with some numbers. Skates across the red line, dumps one into the corner. He'll give chase. Cameron Whipple just going to slap it along the boards. Held in, though, pinched along the far boards by Spencer Clark. Again, held in at that far wall. Backhanded back in behind by Dave Beanackers. Now Whipple along the near side, and that one does escape the zone. And a couple of killers for the Raiders can get a change. McClellan on for Trudeau, and that one slapped in, hammered right on to Nolan Hacker. Had to get down and make the save. McClellan in on the forecheck. Oaks Cook out there as well, killing the penalty. 50 seconds remaining in that roughing call. Whipple trying to pick up the puck here in the neutral zone. It's dumped in deep. St. Anne Spinner, one on his back, in behind his own net. Turned the puck over, ends up with it again, and again had it taken away. Brody Fraley in trying to keep that puck in the zone. This one's cleared out, though, by the captain McClellan and handled by Hacker. 25 seconds to go in the Ridgetown power play. Skating out through center ice, Steve Beanackers dumps one across to the far side for Nolan Vanderborn. The lefty looking for his second goal. Throws that one on, sticked aside by Robert Fountain. Now McClellan pinching, trying to, again, kill off this penalty to Wiley. There's just 5 seconds left in it, and Oaks Cook and Raiders might have a chance here with Wiley coming out of the penalty box. They're just going to send one on the length of the ice and out of the box. That whole time I was giving Wiley credit for the penalty. He's out there now. So too Nick Snyder. Quick shot on. Saved by Fountain, and then another for Xander Wright. Tried to center it in front for Steve Beanackers, who has the puck now. Had it taken away. And skating out through center ice with some speed are Thousand Islands. That's Gabe Horner. His shot hit a body and works its way into the corner. Snyder in there. So too Wiley. That one knocked down on the far side by Xander Wright. Wright throws one. Nearly kept in at the blue line by Rice, but he just kind of whiffed, trying to glove that one down. Now up here along the near board, puck controlled by Thousand Islands. They try to throw that one the length of the ice, and it will be an icing call as Wiley was looking for Snyder on the home run pass, but just couldn't hit him. And with 5:34 to go in the first period, an icing call against the Raiders. Puck will come down into the Ridgetown offensive end. Face-off will be to our left-hand side, the right-hand side, the blocker side of the Thousand Island netminder, Robert Fountain. He's been beaten twice here in the first period. Raiders have a goal of their own. And maybe another chance here. Snyder in. Snyder with a backhand, and it's Nolan Hacker who makes the blocker save. Now the Royals the other way. Quick shot on, and that one right into the glove again of Robert Fountain, who's looked pretty good, really, all things considered. That one goal from Vanderborn he probably would want back, but also not one you're expecting a guy to really throw on net from there. Back to goal, he just kind of spun around and threw one on that beat Fountain in the 5-hole. Other than that, he's made a couple of good glove saves. He's been tested here in the first period. Puck thrown along behind the net. Landon Much clears it down the ice. Harville in giving chase. And it's loose in front. Harville. Endy with a shot right in the slot off the feed from Harville. And it's a tie game at 2 goal apiece. Timer able to beat Nolan Hacker. And we're tied up at 2 goals apiece. 5:03 to go in the first period. Face-off one to the corner by Brendan Ritchie. Far boards, really. Noah Shaw. Now long stretch pass for Ritchie. Ritchie down the right wing, gets to the front of the net, throws one on. I'm not sure if it was sticked aside by Fountain or if he just missed. Tip attempt for Ben Cunningham. And now a big body check laid in behind by Cameron Whipple. That pass given away right in the slot, and the shot from Vandenborn missed on the far side. Harville, fresh off the assist, dumps one in. Hacker will play it, and Harville goes off for a change. Puck up along the near boards. Oaks Cook trying to keep the puck in the offensive zone, but it's cleared out. St. Anne spinner. Back to Whipple. Long stretch pass for Trudeau. Tipped into the offensive zone. Hacker out from his blue paint to play that puck again. Vandenborn. That one dumped into the zone, but deflected on the way in. Whipple able to send it the opposite direction, given away. That one skipped under the stick of Oaks Cook and giving chase Brody Fraley, who's been active, had a couple of really good looks so far. Now in the corner, Cunningham and Fraley battling with McClellan. Trying to work that puck free for the Royals. Raiders doing a good job of just pinning it up along the boards, killing time. It is allowing the Royals, though, to make a change in the D pairing, and they end up with the puck. Centering pass was broken up as Whipple went down to the ice to lay the stick down. That one batted out of the air. Fountain made the save and then couldn't come up with a loose puck, but it's cleared out of the zone with a long stretch pass to the far side for Colton Oaks Cook. He has a streaking Kevin Cook-Avery, and the centering pass again batted out of the air. Good hand-eye from the Royals here in this last sequence. Cook-Avery ends up with it in the neutral zone and backhands it across for Whipple. Sent back to Oaks Cook, and he one-times it right back to Cameron Whipple. 3 minutes to go now in the first period. Dangerous pass through center. Rice tips it up ahead, controlled, though, by Xander Wright, who dumps it back in with a backhand all the way down into the Raiders' defensive end. Controlled there by Whipple, who throws one up to center ice, picked up at the red line by Cook-Avery, had it taken off of his stick. Derek Shaw with a poke check to win the puck. Then he throws the body in the corner. Shaw down there pinching, trying to work the puck free up along the near boards. Centered, thrown all the way across the ice. No one there. And the off-white cream color sweater, really nice looking uniforms for the Ridgetown Royals. Broken stick on the play. And skating over to the bench to get a new one of the Royals. Now through center. Quick shot on from Justin Wiley, who again throws the body check here on the near side. Hacker able to make the save on Wiley's shot from the slot. Didn't get a ton on it, and it was blockered away. Now held in at the point by Nick Snyder. Tried to center it down low for Rice. Rice able to work it back to the blue line, but nobody there as both the D pairing had gone for a change for the Raiders. Vandenborn skating in, throws one on Fountain, makes the save. It was loose for a second, and Fountain throws the glove on and covers up with 1:47 to go in the first period. Nolan Vandenborn, dangerous player, the captain for the Royals, already with a goal tonight. And a pretty good look for him there as he skated right through the slot, really untouched, and got a shot away on Fountain. Vandenborn now off the faceoff. That one thrown to the front of the net. Nobody there. Nobody able to get a stick on the puck as it went all the way into the corner. Now a shot from the point. That was deflected by Vandenborn in front and up into the glass in the corner, but it stayed in play. Vandenborn's centering pass broken up, came right back to him, and Fountain again makes the save, denying Vandenborn from really close quarters. 1:28 to go in the first. Good tempo here to the first period. Feels like it's flown by. Just the one penalty, which the Raiders did well to kill. 2 goals apiece, though. That one skips out of the zone off the face-off win, controlled on the far side by Beanackers, who gave it away as Trudeau, after Harville got a stick on it, came up with it on the near boards. That one skipped by Trudeau and will escape the zone. Whipple picks it up in his defensive zone, skating and in behind his own net. Going to come out from there. Whipple taken down. Don't see any arms up on the play as Whipple stayed down. Vanderborn and him got tied up a little bit. Now down the right wing, Endy looking for his second. Backhands one across the face of goal. And that'll skip out of the zone. Now numbers for Ridgetown as Vanderborn's up the left wing. Through center, though, is Brendan Ritchie. Raiders wanted an offside. Centering pass, and they score again. And apologize for that. That is a good goal. It stands. Raiders thought they were going to end up with maybe a neutral zone faceoff as they thought the Royals were offside. That wasn't the case. A little late getting the score up on the board here in the arena, but it is 3-2 after that one was tipped in front. Well, Steve Cook, one of the officials, one of the referees, the only referee. There's two linesmen out there with him. But Cook was having a discussion with Vanderborn after the goal. They still haven't put it up on the board, so maybe we are mistaken, and that one will not stand. We'll have to check with that at the end of the period. There's 9 seconds left. Skating across, centering pass found with a save, as that one was deflected on by Steve Beanackers and then sent all the way down the length of the ice. Hacker out of the net to play it. That'll end the first period. So it might be 3-2. It might be 2-2. We'll have to double check with the scorer's table in there. We were struggling with an HDMI cord issue, so we apologize for that. Brief lapse there. I think you got to look at the replay anyway, but scoreboard here in the arena says 2-2. That's what we're going to go with. We're going to trust Lori Carnegie. She knows what she's doing here in Clayton. So 2-2 is what we're going to end up saying at the end of the first period, which was kind of wild and a little bit of a chaotic moment there towards the end of the period as Raiders wanted an offside. I think they ended up getting it. We'll see. I'll double check and we'll get back with you. End of the first period here in Clayton. Thanks to everybody for joining us on your Friday evening. The Thousand Island Raiders hosting the Ridgetown Royals. Might be 2-2, might be 3-2. We'll check, and we'll let you know when we come back for the start of the second period. We'll see you in a bit. Welcome back inside the Cerow Rec Park in Clayton, New York, where the Thousand Island Raiders and the Ridgetown Royals are tied at 2-2. So that third goal did not count. We talked to the scorer during the intermission break, and it was waved off as Ridgetown was offside leading up to that goal. So that was what the reasoning is, at least we believe, and did not count. The scoreboard in the arena was right. You should always trust that, I guess. It's 2-2 as we start the second period between the Ridgetown Royals and the Thousand Island Raiders. Puck into center ice, picked up and then dumped back in deep by Steve Beanackers. Thrown up along the near boards and then out through center. Whipple will go over and retreat as he's harassed by Derek Shaw. Shaw ends up with the puck, centering pass. McClellan took it away. Now he throws it up along the near wall. Oaks Cook in the corner. Colton Oaks Cook. Stick lifted, taken away. Beanackers skating in, throws one on, hit a stick in front, and did not make its way on to Robert Fountain. Held in here at the blue line, tipped, and Fountain with a big save on the redirect in front as that one changed direction on him late. Again here skating along the near side, Ian Campbell dumps it in deep. Beanackers helps it along. Cook Avery up the right side. He's taken into the boards and then pinned there. Colton Oaks Cook with McClellan and St. Anne Spinner for company. St. Anne Spinner negated any sort of icing as that one was thrown right on to Robert Fountain. Now St. Anne Spinner lost the puck. Skipped under his stick, but able to work it back and take it away and get it into the offensive zone. Cook Avery spinning around in the neutral zone. Puck skipped off of his stick. Vandenborn came up with it momentarily. That one rung all the way around and will escape the zone as Whipple picks it up at his own blue line. Cameron Whipple thrown off the far boards. Sean Noah back across for Xander Wright. Now Wright in the corner. Snyder took him to the boards. Skating through center now, Ben Cunningham. Cunningham, drop pass, left it for Ritchie. Brendan Ritchie, shot blocked. And Whipple along the far boards, throws it behind. Horner. Puck still along the near boards here in the Ridgetown offensive end. Vandenborn centering pass, broken up, comes out to the point, right with a shot. That's steered aside by Fountain. Still on the far board, Sean Noah for the Ridgetown Royals. Vandenborn centering pass, puck loose. Comes out to the point, thrown on. Fountain way out of the net, makes the save. Puck is still kicking around down there. And Whipple finally goes to the ice, clears the puck down the length for an icing call, but at the very least, he was able to give his team a little bit of a break as it was getting a little helter-skelter there for Thousand Islands. Had the puck pinned into their own end for quite a while. Offensive zone draw for the Royals. 1-0 to the corner by Thousand Islands. Gabe Horner up along the boards. Rice in there too with Beanackers now in behind. Shaw throws one back out in front, hit a body. And Wiley the other way for the Raiders. Wiley throws it across to Snyder. Nick Snyder backhands one on, steered aside by Hacker, then controlled in behind by the Royals. They throw it up along the near boards. And a battle for the loose puck. Taken away, though, by the Raiders, but a delayed penalty coming up against TI as Anthony Bentley came up with the puck. The whistle went, and the Raiders back to the penalty kill. It's a tripping call, and they'll be shorthanded for 2 minutes or less with 16:52 to go in the second period. Game tied at 2 goals apiece. Ridgetown 0 for 1 on the power play in that first period. Just waiting for a couple of minutes to get up on the board here in the arena. Now we're good to go. Face-off one back by the Royals. Vandenborn at the left point. Goes to Beanackers. Across to this near side for Ritchie. Brendan Ritchie, Vandenborn. Back to Beanackers. Now Vandenborn. Ritchie skating into the circle. Throws one into the slot area. Broken up, and Trudeau has the puck, able to clear as he throws one off the boards and all the way down. Zeke Endy will give chase on Nolan Vandenborn. Trying to take some time off the penalty kill here. Beanackers up the right side. Skating around, throws it back to the blue line for Vandenborn. This one under the stick of Brendan Ritchie, but he's able to collect and throw it in deep for Derek Shaw. Shaw harassed in behind. Back across, Vandenborn. Endy closing him down. Shot on, and Fountain makes the save with the glove. Malcolm Campbell into the faceoff dot for the Royals. Puck right in his skates. And St. Anne Spinner will control, throws it off the near board and down the length of the ice. Hacker out of the net to play it, settles it down there, and then backhands it up along the near board where it's controlled by Ian Campbell. Campbell throws it along behind to Dave Beanackers. Now Campbell up the near side. Big collision with Wiley as he lost the puck, but still Royals control. 40 seconds to go in the power play as skating through center ice here is Ian Campbell. Campbell still with the puck, comes all the way out to the far boards. Campbell goes down, taken down by Wiley, who kind of stands over him and makes sure he stays there. Campbell back to the blue line. Malcolm Campbell now out to the near side. Dave Beanackers throws one on. Fountain with a save. Held in on the far boards by Ian Campbell. Back to the blue line. Campbell again skating in at the left point, throws one on, blocked by Whipple, held in on the near side by Dave Beanackers, back across. Campbell winds up, lets one go off the pad of Fountain, who's fighting in front. Threw a slash there on Spencer Clark. Centering pass for Campbell, broken up Oaks Cook, and the penalty is over, back to all even as Colton Oaks Cook chases in deep for Thousand Islands. Dave Beanackers through center, crosses the blue line. Well, lefty lets one go, comes off the near boards, missed well wide, and stayed in the zone, though. Pinching in to keep it in was Ian Campbell. He throws one in behind, but it's settled down there by Cameron Whipple. Long stretch pass, tipped at center ice by Vinny Varadarasa. And this one chipped up along the far boards by Ryan Wilson. Whipple again will throw one into the offensive zone. That one was on net and steered aside into the near boards. Colton Oaks Cook surveys at his own blue line, throws it ahead. Now to Gavin Cook Avery, shot into the skates of Xander Wright, turned away. Oaks Cook throws one deep into the corner. In behind his own net, Vardarasa again. This one turned over, but only momentarily. Sent the length, or would have been, except for it was picked up by Whipple at the blue line. Taken away by Cook Avery right at the face-off dot in the center of the ice, and then he had it taken off of his stick. Wilson across, shot turned away by Fountain, then another. Puck still loose. Whipple with a good stick to clear it out from in front of Robert Fountain. And here comes Jordan Trudeau the other way. Trudeau is going to draw the penalty, lets a shot go, misses wide. Puck is touched up here on the near side. It's a slashing call as Trudeau is skating down through the offensive zone. He draws a penalty, and the Raiders now to the power play. Looks like Xander Wright is going to come sit down and serve the two for slashing. Penalty to number 2 here in the second period. The game is tied at 2 goals apiece. 13-17 to go, 2 minutes on the board, or there will be shortly at least, against Xander Wright for slashing, and a power play coming up for Thousand Islands. First look at them tonight with the extra skater. Rice wins it back to St. Anne Spinner, comes across the blue line. Horner, no look pass up along the far board. Centering pass was broken up and sent the length of the ice, cleared all the way down by Brendan Ritchie. Fountain out from behind, plays it to St. Anne Spinner. St. Anne Spinner drop pass as he was harassed by Brody Fraley. Fraley, good skater on the penalty kill for the Royals. That one again cleared the length of the ice, this time by Sean Noah, and Fountain will settle it down. Up along the near boards. It was Horner who sent it into the zone, and then Horner's going to end up with a penalty here as frustration there. He's called for the trip. Trying to get into the offensive zone, and he was hampered on his way in. Little retaliation. Gets called for the trip, and so for a minute 12, it'll be 4-on-4. And then an abbreviated power play coming up for the Ridgetown Royals. Tripping call on Gabe Horner with 12:29 to go in the second period. Face-off one back by Steve Beenackers, held in at the point by Van de Born, who throws one on with a backhand. Fountain turned that one aside. Colton Oaks-Cook now with it in behind his own net. Oaks-Cook throws it through center, skipped under the stick of Gavin Cook-Avery. Oaks-Cook again, picks up the loose puck in the defensive zone, turns it over. Nolan Van de Born with the steal. Now he skates through the slot, lets one go, and Fountain swallows that one up and makes the stop. 12:02 to go in the second period. There's 45 seconds remaining in the slashing call to Xander Wright. And then Royals will be on the power play. Face-off one back. Controlled in behind by St. Anne Spinner. Looking up ahead, drops it instead to Cameron Whipple. Whipple now through the neutral zone. Whipple going to take it himself, throws one on. That kind of surprised Nolan Hacker and beat him, I think, but it also missed the net up high. And here come Ridgetown the other way. Beenackers looking for Van de Born on the centering pass. He has him. And Ridgetown has their third goal. They thought they had it earlier. This time they do for sure. Van de Born from Beenackers skating 4-on-4. And Ridgetown does now have their third goal of the game. As you got another look at it there, skating 4-on-4, so much open ice and a little bit of odd numbers for the Royals there. Able to skate in kind of 2-on-1, pass across the face of goals, made it through, and Van den Born not going to make a mistake there. Fountain couldn't get across in time. And it is 3-2, Royals with the lead, and shortly, in about 10 seconds now, they'll be on the power play for just a little bit. Noah out from behind his own net. This one through center, picked up in the neutral zone by Ben Cunningham. Now Cunningham, Royals skating 2-on-2 there. Cunningham off his own miss, and whistle. And Ridgetown's upset here. This might be another offside call. The Royals are really displeased. Can hear him pretty audibly down in front of us. Of course, we're right on top of them. Literally right on top of the Ridgetown bench. And both them and the guys on the ice, of which there are 6 of them right now, are pretty audible with their displeasure at the officiating here. Again, I think they were offside. Now here in the arena, both the penalties have come off the board, which now we've got one back up. Yep, 40 seconds for Gabe Horner. So if offside was the call, which I thought is what was signaled, it Well, it must not have been the call because the face-off into the offensive zone for the Royals here on the power play. They win it back and pinched up along the far boards. Held up there and cleared out of the zone by Landon Much. All the way down and behind his own net is Ian Campbell, who will now skate out from the defensive zone. Campbell to the far boards. That's Dave Beanackers now up the right side. Beanackers still with the puck on the far boards. Tried to throw it back across to this near side for Malcolm Campbell. Campbell will retreat. And in the neutral zone, picks up the puck. Beanackers again up the right wing now. Through center. Campbell. Now he'll skate along the near boards. Malcolm Campbell along the red line. Has it on the far wall. Thrown down low for Ben Cunningham, but taken away by the Raiders. Lost the puck here on the near side, Ezekiel Endy, but able to backhand it through center for Brandon Fanner, who's out there, I think, for the first time all night. Fanner lost the puck. Dumped in deep, though, by Snyder. Taken right back by the Royals. Penalties over, obviously. Been for quite a bit here as we're skating 5-on-5, and that one is whistled for icing. It looked like Ryan Wilson beat that down into the offensive zone, but icing is the call with 9:53 to go in the period. So face-off down to the right-hand side of Nolan Hacker, the Ridgetown netminder. St. Anne Spinner at the blue line, throws one on, it's kicked aside. Ian Campbell in the way. St. Anne Spinner ends up with it again here at the near point. Going to throw one on through some bodies, through some traffic. Rice got a stick on it, but it stayed wide. Now Robert Rice, his centering pass broken up and out into the neutral zone. As coming across for a change is Malcolm Campbell for the Royals. St. Anne Spinner again goes across to his D partner, Cameron Whipple. Now Whipple with some nifty stick work to get it across to the near side and then into the offensive zone off the stick of Nick Snyder. Snyder tried to kick it along, stayed in the zone momentarily, cleared out by Brendan Ritchie. Raiders able to pump it right back in. St. Anne Spinner dumped it in deep. Now Robert Rice on the far boards. Rice. That one thrown on, blocked, and then another quick shot. Still unable to make its way all the way through to Hacker. Another block in front. A couple of big shot blocks for Ridgetown as they look to hold on to this one-goal lead the remaining 8 minutes and 40 seconds of the second period. That one thrown on from Whipple, missed on the far side and cleared out of the zone by Derek Shaw. Shaw sends it across the near boards. No icing as Whipple chips along up the near boards. That one hit the stick of Justin Wiley. I don't think he knew a thing about it. Fountain plays that one down. St. Anne Spinner in behind, looking out. Harassed by Derek Shaw. Gave him a couple of good slashes. Now Wiley up the right side, throws one on. Turned aside by Nolan Hacker. Puck rung around in behind, up along the far boards. And controlled by Sean Noah. Noah across the right, turned over. Harville with a shot, that's still loose after the save from Hacker initially. Controlled, a tough pass off the skates of Landon Much. Actually, that was Anthony Bentley who tried to control that one at the blue line. I haven't called his name a ton here. That one up into the netting off a stick. It was tipped. And the faceoff will stay in the offensive zone for the Raiders with 7:34 to go in the second period. Pretty disjointed second, really, after that goal from Nolan Vandenborn, his second of the night. A tap in on a really nice feed from Beanackers. Quick shot from Trudeau as he was down on one knee and just spun and threw the stick at it. Looked like it was going high, but Nolan Hacker took no chances, threw the leather on it, gets the stop with 7:31. Face-off one back, Horner up along the near boards. Harville tips it in. Endy giving chase. Trudeau out there as well on the forecheck. Harville couldn't get a glove on it. And now through center, Beanackers. Steve Beanackers has the puck in the corner. Tried to center it, hit the skates of Gabe Horner. Down low, Beanackers at the red line. Centered for Vanderborn, went through his legs. And now out to Beanackers again, who throws one on. Horner knocked it down with his glove, and here comes Trudeau up the near board. Ezekiel Endy through center. Endy down the left wing. Throws one on, blockered away. Endy comes up with the puck again in behind. Going to fight for it with Beanackers along the boards. It's kicked ahead, but held in. Shot on, and that's sticked aside by Nolan Hacker. Shot from the point from Anthony Bentley. This one out through center and wide open. Nolan Vanderborn looked like he might have been offside. He skates in on the breakaway, leaves it for Beanackers, and they score again. Well, we'll take another look at the fourth goal. I'm not sure if it's going to be visible or not. He might have just stayed onside. Nolan Vanderborn at the blue line. And this time, the goal will not come back for offside. Vanderborn scores, or actually assisted Beanackers. And a little unselfish there with 2 goals. Could have been his hat trick. Instead, he made the pass and made sure that Ridgetown ended up with their goal as Fountain beaten for the 4th time tonight. Now a 2-goal lead for Ridgetown. Approaching 6 minutes to go in the second period. Centering pass, and Cook Avery couldn't get a stick on it. Now another chance for a break. Pass, though, broken up at the blue line well by Landon Much, and that one just shoveled in to the offensive zone by Sean Noah. Held in at the point. Malcolm Campbell throws one on, hit a body in front, and Fountain able to collect the rebound in the catching glove. So time now for the Raiders to respond. They started the period even at 2 goals apiece. They've given up 2 now. Vanderborn second, then he set up Beanackers for the 4th Ridgetown goal. That one thrown on, hit a body and missed wide on the near side. Dave Beanackers tried to dump it in deep, but Dylan St. Anne Spinner with it. Now an odd man rush, 3-on-2. Down the right wing, back to St. Anne Spinner. Pass was broken up. Rice ends up with a puck on his stick, but a good poke check to work it away from him. That one dumped back in deep. Wiley throws the reverse hit. Raiders got to get back on side. They do now. Spinning around in the defensive zone. Dave Beanackers up through center. Picked up there by Jeremy Vandenborn. Hasn't played a ton. That one deflected. Misses here on the near side. Vandenborn lays the hit. The puck is loose in front. Fountain makes the save. And then another. Game's starting to get a little physical, a little chippy here towards the end of the second period. Now, Nick Snyder throws it up ahead. Has Robert Rice up the right wing. Rice drop for Snyder. And it's in. Snyder picks the top corner. Wasn't sure if it hit the pipe and came out or hit the back iron inside the goal. But the official standing right there clearly saw it hit the netting in behind. And right back in it are the Raiders. Cut the lead down to 1 as you take another look on the drop pass. Beautiful feed. And Nick Snyder rips it up over the glove side. And Nolan Hacker. 4-3 now. 4:46 to go in the second period. Endy into the face-off. One back, though, by Brendan Ritchie. Right, thrown up ahead. In center ice, Anthony Bentley got it into the offensive zone, lost his stick, caught it on his back. That was pretty impressive. Other way, though, Ritchie out to the near side. Fanning on the shot was Fraley. Harville throws it ahead. Big hit late here by Xander Wright. And Harville and Wright are going at it behind the play. Harville wants to go. Wright doesn't want to. The officials seem content to let him just play on. The two of them still jawing. That puck hit Harville and stayed in the zone as Endy dumped it in deep. Endy got it back from Trudeau. Ezekiel Endy throws one that missed just on the near side. Now Trudeau dumps it in deep. Harville gives chase, pins Campbell up along the board. Shot from Horner from the blue line. That was deflected and missed. And this one cleared down the length of the ice. Should be an icing, except for Trudeau. Yeah. Ridgetown's going to be upset with that one. I think they've got a legitimate gripe. As I thought it was Trudeau. It was actually Bentley who was gassed at the end of that shift. Looked like he was going to get beat in the foot race. But the whistle went for icing, and Ridgetown obviously going to be upset with that one, as that means the faceoff comes all the way back into their zone, and they're not allowed to change. Puck controlled at the blue line by Landon Much, who dumps it in deep. Gavin Cook-Avery gets it back from Oaks Cook. Cook-Avery threw it on, tried to bank that in off the back of Nolan Hacker, unsuccessfully. Fanner throws it along the near boards. Controlled here on the near side by Brendan Ritchie. And that one again sent the length of the ice. Icing waved off as Shaw will beat it down into the zone. So Fountain came out of the net to play it. Centering pass for Cunningham. He dumps it in with a backhand. Ritchie out to the near side. Quick one-timer off the stick of Derek Shaw, missed wide. Now along the far boards battling for the puck is Landon Much. Lost that battle. This one hit Much and able to clear the zone. Shot blocked there from Landon Much on Ryan Wilson. This one thrown up along the near side and then sent right back the opposite direction. Return to sender from Brandon Fanner. Again out there here in the second period. I don't think we saw him at all in the first. Robert Rice up the left wing, centering pass just too tall for Gavin Cook-Avery. Whipple slaps it along the near side. Held in though. Beanackers got around Whipple, got it back and missed on the far side. Pinching in, sending one along the far side is Sean Noah. Raiders trying to work clear here as we approach 2 minutes to go in the second period. Held in on the near side by Steve Beanackers. Now Cameron Whipple. Again, pinching in are the Royals, able to keep the puck in the offensive zone. That one loose in front of Fountain, who eventually just sticks it into the corner. Oaks Cook battling for the puck with Sean Noah. Centering pass out in front. And that play broken up as Derek Shaw was here on the doorstep trying to slide one past Robert Fountain. Royals with the puck. Raiders at the end of a shift. They go for a change, and the Royals might have numbers if they hurry here. Derek Shaw throws one on. Fountain with a save. And ended up sneaking up and over him. Fortunately for him, got up and over the bar and into the corner behind. Puck cleared out into the neutral zone by Thompson. I think first time we've seen him all night, too. Here's Nolan Vanderborn, the captain for Ridgetown, on a hat trick now. Skating in down the right side. Centering pass right through the blue paint. And Brody Fraley, I'm not sure if he wasn't expecting it or just couldn't get a stick on it, but either way, that one missed. Penalty coming up as Thompson takes the helmet right off of Vanderborn with 1:17 remaining in the period. Thompson leading the Raiders in penalty minutes with 46. That number will be 48 now. And another penalty to kill for Thousand Islands here right at the end of the second period. 1:17 remaining as 2 minutes are up on the board against Nate Thompson. Vanderborn along the blue line, across for Ritchie. Ritchie evades Trudeau, goes back to Nolan Vanderborn. Pass across for Brody Fraley. Fraley, oh, the one-timer in front, missed. Shaw had it on the tape from Fraley and just couldn't put it on net. As Fountain was down and out, that one would have beat him. Vanderborn backhands it ahead. Derek Shaw across for Beanackers. Pass was just behind him, but he's going to end up with a puck here in the corner as he chips it along in behind. Shaw chasing into the corner on the far side. Throws it back to the blue line. Across the blue. Ritchie. Vanderborn. Shaw now. Inside the circle. One-timer. Fountain made the first save but couldn't make the second. And that one in. A power play goal. Late whistle. But the puck definitely across the line. And it is now 5-3. Ridgetown takes that 2-goal lead right back as you see the puck came right across the face of goal for Steve Beanackers. Fountain made the save, but couldn't make the second, and he is really upset, I think both with himself and also with the team in front of him for taking that penalty in the first place and then failing to clear the puck out of the zone there after he made the first stop. Fountain is, I'm still really, really displeased down there to our right-hand side. Pretty audible, even over Baby Shark blaring through the speakers here in the Cerow Rec Park. 5-3 now. Penalty will come off the board for the Raiders. That's what we're waiting on. They've actually got 2 up now on Ridgetown. So they picked up a penalty in the aftermath of that play. So Raiders to the power play here. Have to ask the scorers again in the intermission as time's going to run out here at the end of the second period. Maybe one last chance for Whipple from the blue line. He does send one on, saved by Hacker. The puck came back out in front, and this one cleared the length on Fountain. Actually missed him, but with the Royals shorthanded, no icing call, and that ends the second period. Well, 3 goals in the frame, 4 goals in the frame. 3 for Ridgetown. They picked up that 5th goal right towards the end of the period after the Raiders had got back within 1. Royals with a 2-goal lead at the end of the second period. So 5-3 to score here inside the pretty brisk Cerow Rec Park. Colder than normal, I think, which is saying something here in Clayton, New York. Second intermission time. Raiders will have 1:35 to go on the power play at the start of the third period. We'll see you then